The Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Farmers Market partnered with the WBFJ radio station Friday morning to talk about the market and the fact that the weekend wraps up National Farmers Market Week. The concept was to prepare stir-fry from Alchemy Ranch and serve it for the on-air staff of Vern and Wally during the morning show. We set up our makeshift kitchen in the station lobby bright and early. It wasn't long and things were fired up. The smell was in the air. The meats, the veggies, the rice was warming. Soon it was time to plate and serve. Then the show began.
Ed McNeil, Director of Marketing and Communications with the City of Winston-Salem, talking about the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Farmers Market.
Yeah, good morning. Thank you guys for having me in.
Thanks for being here.
I have to start with Bonnie because Bonnie came into the market. She came into the market a few weeks ago. Hey, Ed, what are you doing? And I had the chef coat on. And I said, well, I'm sampling. I'm cooking today with one of the farmers and trying to get people to understand that, how good some of this food is. And she says, you got to get over to the station. And so she is the reason that I'm here, and I am so thankful to her. So she's listening.
So
Thank
are
you, Bonnie. Yeah, and so the aroma that you've been hinting about is this is beef and broccoli. I make this for my family. We sample this at the market, but at the core of this is stir fry made from beef cows raised at Alchemy Ranch. This is a local ranch right there in Mount Airy. And it's one of 4 meat vendors that we have at the Fairground Farmers Market right now. And it's so interesting when you talk to these farmers and hear some of the things they say. They'll have a customer says, well, I can buy that for half that price in the Lowe's or in whatever grocery store. And the response is, well, not this cow. And part of that is because these cows are raised 100% on grass. They are out in the wild. They are out, or not out in the wild, but they're fenced in and they're raised in a way that creates the ease for the customer that this animal does not have antibiotics or hormones or GMOs being fed to it and this kind of thing. And so it's just a great kind of freeing discussion to hear these farmers talk about how good their product is. And then when you buy it, and you try it and you say, well, wait a minute, I noticed the difference. So my stir fry story, I bought some stir fry from Alchemy Ranch. I took it home. I made this recipe that you're having today, beef and broccoli, and the kids loved it. So I had some left. I said, well, I'll make this again. So come back a few days later, I didn't have enough. So I went to a grocery store, bought some of their stir fry. So I now have 2 different types of meat, and I'm sitting there and bite to bite, noticing the difference. Nothing against the industrial food market. They have figured out how to make a living. That's what they do. But what we have available to us through the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Farmers Market is access to 4 meat vendors who believe there is a better way to put food on our tables that makes us comfortable with what we're serving our children, our families. And when you taste it and you notice the difference, man, that's just the best selling point. And so it was a big sell for me. And only a few weeks after that, I came back and said, I want to cook this at the market. We got to show people.
Well, and that's the thing, seeing is believing, but also tasting is believing. And that's the best way to really sell something is like, okay, sample it.
Yeah. So is this where you're going to let me try it now?
Yeah.
I thought it was where you were going to let us try it.
Try it.
We have to be totally transparent.
Yeah.
Ed and I have already been sampling.
What?
So
What?
Look, it was
leave the room for
fresh.
30 seconds.
You leave the room?
He shouldn't have left the room.
Hand me that bowl. Joining us in studio this morning, Ed McNeil, Director of Marketing Communications with the City of Winston-Salem, talking about the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Farmers Market. And we're sampling this little beef stir fry, And, Ed, I must confess, a lot of times when we think about farmers market, we think fresh fruits and vegetables and produce and whatnot.
That's right.
Meat is usually or not always front of mind.
And really nowadays it should, because farming is not that farming ever went anywhere, but farming is back in a very different way. Increasingly, there's information out there about people growing something at their homes, whether it's it may not be like where I grew up in South Georgia where you had, peas and all of this and corn and sugarcane, but it may be that you're doing your own tomatoes or cucumbers or something along those lines. And so there's an attention back towards getting fresh fruits and vegetables that at some point you put your hands on it or someone put their hands on it. And so when you look at our market now, the diversity of the market is incredible. When we talk about a vendor like Alchemy, a vendor like Grace Meadows in Westfield, North Carolina, hogs, chickens, turkeys, they had corn. The deer got much of the corn, but one of the interesting stories with them is you can go in early November at the Fairground Farmers Market and speak with Grace Meadows and arrange for a fresh turkey, a fresh local turkey produced right there in Westfield. And so again, nothing against the big grocery stores, but how nice would it be to buy this product that helps this family, that makes their living raising animals and caring for them well, bringing them to market and providing that opportunity. So it's interesting. You can go into our market and get fresh butter. You can get local honey, elderberry, meats, fruits and vegetables. One of the really hot items as we did a sampling series in July was chorizo, which is a Mexican sausage. Well, it was interesting having conversations with the customers and saying to them, so here's how you use chorizo. Instead of buying hamburger meat and buying a taco seasoning pack, just cook the chorizo and put it in your taco. And so it tastes great. It tastes great. Yeah. And so what we saw was people came in and they tasted it and went, oh yeah, I'll buy this. And so just again, speaking to how tasting is believing, we had a customer there that was a Grace Meadows customer who had bought from her for years, who said, I've only bought chicken. I've never thought to buy your chorizo. And so now that gentleman comes back and buys the chorizo now every week. And so that's the value of sampling and the value of just standing there and talking to the farmer. Talking to the farmer that put in the work to raise the animal.
Well, and that's the reputation part. Because, I mean, look, you're as only good as your last serving of whatever you're providing.
Absolutely.
And word of mouth carries a lot of vendors, I'm sure, at the farmers market.
Absolutely does. You know, we heard some great stories this year of people hearing about the market through different means. But what we've seen is people coming back. And when they understand that our market is open every Saturday of the year, even during, you know, in 2 weeks before the fair, we move out and we have to be on Shore Fair Drive, I think is what it's called. We'll set up out there. It's still a great time to come to the market. If you think about it, you're still grabbing tomatoes. You can get pumpkins. The meat vendors have to make some different arrangements because they're bringing the heavy coolers. But there's still the opportunity to go in and look the person eye to eye that raised your food. And you can't really do that in a lot of other places. The market has improved this year over previous years. We have new lighting. We have giant fans in the middle of the market that give you a little better airflow. It's been great. I spend my Saturdays there. I have my daughter here. We didn't introduce her, but Olivia, of course, she's been over there since she was a little kid. But we go in, and it's become a family thing for us. When I'm not working there, it's our family of four going through the market and buying coffee from Magic Beans, a local roaster that when you taste this coffee, you say, well, wait a minute, why does this coffee it's not bitter? It doesn't have that sharp taste. Why is that? And he'll explain it to you. His coffee is air roasted. The beans don't sit still, and so they don't burn, and it's not bitter. And so it's just a beautiful thing to watch customers just come in there every Saturday to go get that coffee. I buy it by the 5-pound bottle. I mean, I can confess that, man.
You don't just help run this thing and organize it.
Oh, no.
You're a shopper.
Oh, I'm a shopper. I'm a shopper.
In studio with us, Ed McNeil, Director of Marketing and Communications with the City of Winston-Salem. It's National Farmers Market Week.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're celebrating.
Yeah, we are celebrating. And the way we have celebrated a lot this past year has been to do something good for the customer and something good for the vendor. And so in July, we did the Market Bucks campaign where we gave vendors money that they could surprise their customers with. And so we will do that Saturday morning. We will give 5 $20 gift certificates basically to our vendors. And so don't be surprised if you walk in to buy something from one of these vendors and they lean in close and say, congratulations, you're my Market Bucks customer for the week. And they give you $20 that you can spend right there with them. And so this can be some of our craft vendors. It can be meat vendors. It can be produce vendors. And I've since learned that Gail Strait is listening. And Gail is with Alchemy Alchemy Ranch up in Mount Airy. She's one of those that participated with us, and she will be there tomorrow, as well as Grace Meadows, as well as Mill River. So we're real excited about it. But we are celebrating National Farmers Market Week. Our market is right there behind the Goodwill. So 421 Northwest 27th Street. We open at 6 a.m. We go to 1 p.m. Please come on by. There is, even if you may have already bought your groceries, you may have already done that. Come by and just meet the people, talk to the people. Maybe if there's some sampling going on, come on out and enjoy that. And then at the end of this month, August 28th, we will have our annual Saucy Salsa contest. Now, we missed this last year. Like most people, we missed out. The market was closed until May. And in May, we opened up outside. And eventually around June, we were able to move back inside. But the Saucy Salsa contest is super fun. I enjoy it because I've been a judge for a couple of years. And so you talk about eating beef and broccoli for breakfast. How about sampling 13 salsas for breakfast? But
we could attempt that.
Yeah. And so really fun event, but it gives our customers an opportunity to come in, bring their freshly made salsa, and match it up against others. And it's been interesting, too, over the years to watch what wins. We've had years where it was the blackberry salsa that kind of came from nowhere that won, and another year where it was one that was tomato but also peaches that won. And so it just kind of depends on where the judges are, I think. You know, you change it up a little bit. I love black beans, and so when I had the taste of black beans in there, I thought, wow, this is very unlike some of the others. But that contest is Saturday, August the 28th. And so you can find more information if you go to cityofws.org, search Fairground Farmers Market, and there you will go over to the Farmers Market page and you can go to the application.
And of course, in the middle of what we're living through, you guys, I'm sure, are under safety protocol, and that's number one.
Yeah, that's right. So this past week, the mayor announced going back to requiring masks in public city government facilities. And so we do have a requirement that you have a mask on. If you don't bring one, there are vendors there that can give you a mask, or you can purchase a mask, right, and be able to walk in and participate in the market. And we hope people will come on down and participate in that. It's an outstanding experience. Again, oldest farmers market in our area, created in 1974. And surprisingly, Tommy Dunning was one of the original market vendors there. He is still there. He has eggs and fresh sausage and country sausage, and he is just a joy to speak with. And in fact, that's where my family buys our eggs from. We buy 5 dozen a week. 5 dozen eggs a week. And I don't eat all of the eggs, okay, Vern? But the eggs, no judgment zone, right? No. But the eggs are. I have a friend who loves those fresh eggs, and he says, "Hey, man, you're going every week. Why don't you grab those for me?" And so I'm happy to do that. But hopefully we can get lots of folks to come out and discover this gem. It's been here for a long time, but it's right there behind the Goodwill, 421 Northwest 27th Street. Come on down, 6 a.m. to 1 p.m.
And we've got all the information posted, WBFJ, the news blog, as well as our Facebook page. Ed, thank you so very much.
Thank you, guys. I enjoyed it.
WBFJ. The Winston-Salem Fairground Farmers Market will produce a Market Book special Saturday, August 7th to celebrate National Farmers Market Week. You can learn more by following the City of Winston-Salem or the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds on Facebook or on Twitter. For the City of Winston-Salem, I'm Ed McNeil.